Hello, my name is Jason, and today I'll be explaining you this math problem. A kitchen pantry has 5 shelves, each containing a specific kind of food. The spices are on the shelf directly below the vegetables. The fruits are above the bread, and the vegetables are 3 shelves below the cereals. Which kind of food is on the third shelf? So now, there's 2 ways to do this problem, and the first way is relatively easy than the other way. So we'll begin with that way. In the first way, we make a graph. So right now I'll make my 5 by 5 graph. Here. So now we're going to write the different kind of foods on top and different layers on the side. We'll begin with the food first. So for the spices, we're going to put S. Vegetables is V. The fruits is F. The bread is B. And the cereals is C. Then the shelf layers. The first layer is the top one, the second layer the second to top, and the third layer is under the second, and so on for the 4 and 5ths. So now it says the spices are on the shelf directly below the vegetables. So that means the spices can't be on the first layer because then there's no place to put the vegetables. So we cross out the first layer for spices. And the vegetables can't be on the 5th layer because then there's gonna be no place for the spices. So we cross out that layer too for the vegetables. Now the second statement says that the fruits are above the bread. So then that means the fruits can't be on the last layer because then there's nowhere to put the bread, and the bread can't be on the first layer. It also says that the vegetables are 3 shelves below the cereals. So then the vegetables can be on the first layer, can be on the second layer, and can be on the third layer, but it can't be on the 4th layer, and it can't be on the last layer, so it have to be on the 4th layer. Now we cross out everything else on the 4th layer so that nothing else could be on the 4th layer. Now it says the vegetables are 3 shelves below the cereals. So that means the cereals must be 1, 2, and 3 shelves above. So it's here. And we cross out it here so that the cereals can't be on any more shelves. And no more food can be on the first layer. Now going back to the first statement. Spices are on the shelf directly below the vegetables. We already know that the vegetables are on the 4th layer. So then that means the spices have to be on the 5th layer. You check that and cross out all the spices and cross out the whole row. So now the second statement says that the fruits are above the bread. And since there's only 2 layers left, the fruit have to be on the second layer and the bread is on the third layer. Cross out the rest. And now that means the bread is on the third shelf. Now we erase it, and then we do it the second way. The second way is more confusing. It's basically a combo of dashed lines and solid lines. Dashed lines means no, and the solid line means yes. So now we are going to write it in 2 rows. Spices, vegetables, fruits, and bread, and last the cereals. Then we write the layers 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So it's basically the same. It's basically the same strategy, but you're showing your work differently. So the first statement says that the spices are on the shelf directly below the vegetables. So once again, the spices can't be on 1 and the vegetables can't be on 5. And then the fruits are above the bread. So then that means the fruits can be on 5 and the bread can be on 1. And the vegetables are 3 shelves below the cereals. So then vegetables can be on 1, can't be on 2, can't be on 3, so it can only be on 4. So we draw a solid line to 4. Now, the vegetables are 3 shelves below the cereals. Yep, we already did that one. So then we put the cereals 3 layers above the vegetables, so it gotta be 1 connected to the cereal. Okay. Now we going back to the first statement. It says the spices are on the shelf directly below the vegetables. So then that means vegetables is on the 4th layer, so spices are on the 5th layer here. And the fruits are above the bread, so there's only 2 layers left, so the fruit is on the 2nd layer and the bread is on the 3rd layer. And once again, it's get to the same answer that the bread is on the 3rd shelf.